Hello, everyone. For me, it's feeling like entering a class after it has started. I would have been fined like 20 years ago when I passed out from this institute. I was a batch of 2002 from SPJIMR, so it's an honor to be here. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Anjani. And firstly, as one of the largest banks in the world, I think the transformation that HDFC is actually trying to do is inspiring, right? And I want to just share my perspective, and I genuinely believe that the present and the future of business is AI driven. And uh, before I begin, a quick question to all of you: like, how many of you have experienced AI? Hands-on experience of AI, something. Okay, almost. That's like 80-90%, right? Um, so, uh, for those who have not put their hands up, if you have ever used Google Maps for a direction, you have used AI. Yeah. So it's all actually 100%. Let's move on. Before I was actually putting the slides together, and I spoke to Mr. Manish, who actually heads our AI lab in India, and he said something that really like touched me here. He said that AI is going to be so good, and it is going to free up human time and so that we can do stuff that truly matters. Things like creativity, things like empathy, things like judgment, right? So all these things, everything else could actually be performed and be more productively done with AI. And I want to start with a couple of examples to begin with. Number one, UPS, as all of you know, is a phenomenal company present in 220 countries, basically every single country in the world, and they deliver almost 20 million packages on an average of around 120 touch and go points in a single day across all the countries. And they came to Google with a problem statement that, hey, you know what can AI do for our business? And we said, okay, we can apply AI to ensure that your logistics across these, millions of touch points can be optimized. And in a single year, we have been, UPS has been able to save $400 million in a single year just by applying AI to an existing problem statement, right? And that's the value creation that we are speaking about. Not only that, we're also talking about them saving 10 million gallons of fuel, which actually added to their sustainability goals. Yeah? And uh, uh, and the second, of course, companies like UPS, companies like HDFC has resources to kind of apply these things. But how about people like you and me? The beauty of AI is that it is also so accessible to every single individual on the planet. Just the way a browser is what is needed to access the internet. I just want to play a video, and I hope it plays because I didn't do the tech check. Uh, this guy is David Guetta. All of you have danced to his songs in some of these parties, you remember? Yeah? Great music, right? So he heard about AI just like you and me, and he dabbled with a couple of softwares, and he's actually asked AI to say, hey, how will an Eminem play the future of rave? So AI actually created the lyrics, right, of Eminem, and actually he played it in a live concert. Let's see the sound. Yeah, can you play the video, please? Can someone? Yeah, it's a PDF file. Oh, you don't have videos playing right now? Okay, all right. So we don't have videos playing. So I understand it's a PDF file. It's not a Google Slides on the internet? Okay, cool. Okay, so we are not going to have these amazing videos that I have came in. I got it for all of you, but that's fine. So the future of rave sound has actually been done by Eminem with dabbling with a couple of websites, and I will share with you, hopefully during this day, during today's presentation, like what is from our vantage point, how do we see this evolve, and because it will touch every single person in every single sector, in every single business, right? That we can envisage. So firstly, we call AI as the third big shift. The first was internet, where all of us have benefited massively on. The second is when the world's information is available on your mobile phone, the hyper-local ability to kind of deliver local information has actually transformed mobility in a very, very big way. And again, it transformed app ecosystem, and so much more has happened. That's the second big shift. And in fact, Google was a desktop company. and it had to make a really massive and a painful pivot to actually mobile to make sure all products work seamlessly, brilliantly on mobile. Now, AI is the next big shift, and it is probably as important as invention of fire or electricity and the impact that it has on humanity. And hence, it is probably bigger than the other two shifts that we have seen, and we are right in the middle of it. So how do you really what is the frame of reference and how do you really think about it? And why is, okay, because there is animation, it is not playing. Apologies again for that. So think of it like your left brain and right brain. AI has been in the works for the last 7 decades. Research has been on. It's not something new. So think of it like the left brain AI is really like the analytical AI, which is more predictive and which is more, it's become very good at summarization and ability to kind of predict. And all the hype cycle that is going on right now is around generative AI. And what generative AI does is actually makes you creative and also adds conversational ability. It's like I have a 2-year-old at home. It's my son, and he actually amazes me, right? At 2-year-old, how the kids pick up language. They pick up your mother tongue, they pick up English, they pick up like multiple languages. They can respond to you, and it's amazing how they show progress week on week on week. And so think of AI as like this 4-year-old child right now, yeah, and with amazing capabilities to on both this stuff. So again. Bringing alive with an example, if you have ever used Google Maps, that's the analytical side of AI. It's able to use almost 90% of historical information, and maybe more, and very small percentage of live data, and is able to accurately tell you what time are you going to go from point A to point B. And the generative AI is what we call as the next chapter for unlocking creativity. So Bard or ChatGPT or DALL-E, I think all of them are able to take instructions and are able to generate stuff, from making, and that makes English like a coding language, which can be accessible for all of us. So, like, if you want to plan something, right, it just harnesses the world's information and gives you something in a really meaningful way. And Bard is available on all the countries. The second is, so there are 4 forms of AI as I've shared with you. Generative AI has text to text is like a solved problem, right? Anything you input, the output can be an amazing summarization, and that works very brilliantly. Text to image, right, is another way. Second use case, which is working really well. It can transform marketing and many industries which work. So in this case, if you look at a chrome-plated duck with a golden beak arguing with an angry turtle in a forest, bingo, right? Like in less than a millisecond, you can generate images because it can tap into the creativity in a big way. And the third, again, I cannot play this video, but I would encourage you to kind of check it out. Text to music, So whichever is your favorite song. In this case, Kal Ho Na Ho can be sung by, Udit Narayan, and how does it sound? He need not sing, but it can actually tap into the whole past and with all the notes and styles, and it can actually mimic in a beautiful way. And then the last, and this is like the first 3 use cases: text to text, text to image, and text to music, and even text to code. All of them are pretty much solve problems mostly, and they will scale. But text to video, it is basically like as you input, the text, it automatically generates video instantly. So all these use cases are what got simplified by technology in a more meaningful way, and this opens up tremendous opportunities for all businesses, and I just want to share with you how we are applying it, and also how actually like businesses are applying it to create value. So far, so good, right? So firstly, in terms of businesses, it can help consumers completely disrupt consumer experiences. There was a time when you had to input text into a browser for seeking questions, right? And billions of searches are actually happening every single day globally. Now, the fact is, if you ever have used, your camera can be your search engine. It actually meets the physical world with the digital world, and you don't need to input text because it is not so natural. So computing experiences can be transformed brilliantly, and even on Google Photos, for example, the unwanted pictures at the back, or even unfinished pictures because somebody has not been able to take the brilliant picture. I think it just creates magical experiences there. And also at the same time, not just like the fun stuff in photos, but it can solve some of the deepest societal challenges. Like, for example, we send 115 million flood forecasted alerts to people in India, which are almost like 90% accurate, right? Why? Because the terrain data of the flooded areas, the past history, and all of them can be actually be merged to alert governments and citizens on where the flood is likely going to happen and which direction is it going to head, and what amount of lives and property is actually will be at a loss. So it's a phenomenal initiative started in India and is available to almost many governments in the world, and it is saving many lives. The second big use case is in healthcare. In healthcare, again, breast cancer detection and the early stage of detection is the most important thing to do. And it actually takes away a fear, right, of, or even to an extent, the shyness in terms of approaching it. And then the screening, breast cancer detection can now happen with almost as accurate as radiologists' ability to kind of look at it. And there are many use cases like detecting wildfires, and all these things are possible with AI. The third piece is really around helping companies grow dramatically, and this is something done by McKinsey. Says that companies who actually are applying AI are 70% of them see revenues increase, and almost like most of them look on an average of like a cost reduction of almost 28% overall. So how does this happen? More than $600-700 billion of money goes in marketing, advertising, customer acquisition. So AI multiplies the ability of marketing to drive ROI in many ways, right? By maximizing your customer lifetime value and simplifying it for big businesses and small businesses, and democratizing ability for driving ROI in a big way. And globally, almost 70% of marketing is on digital. So creating new demand and ability to kind of work with different platforms and formats, and building expertise, and all these actually help you multiply your ROI. And it actually will work in tandem with human. So it's not automated products completely end-to-end, but it's still, as I said, 4-year-old child requires a human intervention, right? In this chart, it's very clearly you can see that on an average, almost 15%, if the overall performance increases by 35%, BCG actually suggests that 15% with human input, while at 20% by just applying technology, right? So together, the multiplier effect is much higher. So like what Anjani has shared, like if this company, a bank sitting on tons of data infrastructure, if they're able to meaningfully understand their customers really well, they can actually become more customer-centric than channel-centric. And that unlocks ability to upsell, cross-sell much more meaningfully, and I think more profitably at the same time. So what it is fundamentally doing is it is simplifying the complex products. And if you have ever worked with digital platforms, I think we've done a great job in confusing with the number of products that are there in every format, right? But what AI is doing is, if you look at whether it is Google or Meta, I think increasingly there are more products coming which are like performance max. You just give creatives, you just give a goal, and then the system will figure out the rest, right? And that's the opportunity. So I think we are in the midst of the flywheel, as I call. As I said, the world has already gone digital. The consumers are actually ready for, as you can see, from how they have embraced AI in a meaningful way. 100% of you also applying it, and I think marketing is definitely can transform end to end meaningfully. Uh, Again, no video here, but Cadbury's has done something beautiful. If you have not seen it, like definitely like YouTube it right now, because they have taken a simple human insight that, hey, Cadbury Celebrations wants to be a preferred preferred gift during birthdays. So why should Happy Birthday be the same for everybody, right? That's the same song sung in all the markets and all the countries. So they have applied the same tools that I shared with you: text to text, text to image, text to video, and text to music. And then you can go on to the celebrations, My Happy Birthday. You can literally say 3-4 attributes about the person's name, and it generates the lyrical song on the person. And you can pick up a music genre. You can pick up the voice that you like, and instantly it actually will generate a hyper personalized song for your friend, so that you make the person special. And it all, I can't share numbers, but it has already created a lot of traction among users and revenue. It can predict trends, and all these images, right? Are not generated by human but by the machine. The new trends, the new hairstyles. Shoe companies like Nike are actually using to co-create the new designs with consumers, and I think all this is basically the beginning. And I just want to summarize, and I'm looking forward for the conversation. AI is disruptive, but you are not competing with AI. If you are a doctor, you're not competing with AI. You're competing with a doctor who leverages AI. If you are a tutor, you're not competing with AI. You're competing with a tutor who actually leverages AI. And if you're a business or a marketeer, you're competing with another marketeer who leverages AI in a big way. Increasingly, I think, just like a 4-year-old child needs a lot of attention, all you will see, we need to be bold in experimentation. At the same time, we need to be responsible in how we navigate this new world. But yes, a lot will change, and thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.